Hackers. They're in every video game ever created, including PUBG. They're the types of people who think they're better than everyone else. And in reality, it's quite the opposite. They're not good enough to play the game normally, so they have to resort to using childish tactics to get ahead of their enemies. Nearly everyone hates them, and the only people who don't are the people who hack themselves. And guess what? There will be people who hack, who watch this video and then dislike it to make it look bad. We can't let that happen. We need everyone who hates hackers to team up together and fight these guys. Leave a like on this video and show them that the number of people who hate hackers far outweigh those who like them. This is a war we cannot lose. So yes, in today's video, I wanted to make a video explaining exactly how you can spot a hacker in PUBG Mobile. It's important we know who these people are because, as Tencent has said, if you are caught teaming with a cheater, you can be banned too. I don't want anyone watching this being banned like that, so I hope I can help. I think you'll enjoy this. I hope you learned something new today. Subscribe to my channel for more awesome PUBG Mobile content, and don't forget to turn on post notifications for my next special PUBG video uploading on June 9th. Let's jump into this. So, to start things off, I have to note that as this video goes on, we'll go through more and more unknown ways to spot a hacker in this game. The first few ways are pretty obvious, but as we get farther up the list, there may be some things you never would have expected. That's the goal of the video, for you to learn something new. So yes, the number one best way to determine whether or not someone is hacking is how often they hit all of their shots. Watch closely to see how consistently they can hit super difficult shots. If you're playing with a teammate and they have an automatic M416 and they can hit every single one of their shots even on as difficult of targets as a high-speed closed UAZ 500 meters away from you, something may be up. They could just be a really good player, and you have to watch out for that. If they're a streamer, well, they could play for hours a day, every day, so of course they'll be accurate. But managing to kill an entire squad from 900 meters away with just the vector and no attachments, that's not too likely. Be careful when reporting anyone who's highly accurate because there's a good chance they just really know how to play the game well. So your best bet is to report those who are visibly using things like a wall hack, aimbot, etc. However, there's another better way to know when someone's hacking. It's difficult to determine this when they're your enemy, but if it's your teammate, you can easily tell. If you have a teammate that always knows exactly where to go, always seems to know where the next enemy is, that might get a little suspicious over time. You could be in Pochinki and hear footsteps, but in those close quarters areas, it's hard to know exactly what building and what floor someone is in, especially if there's multiple footsteps. If your teammate is just rushing around, picking out exactly where the whole squad is, hiding in different buildings in Pochinki, hey, you might have teamed up with a cheater. If you're driving to get inside the zone, and your teammate turns around and drives back out 100 meters towards a tiny shack you never saw before, with some excuse like, oh, I just wanted to check if there's loot here, then instantly kill 3 people using energy drinks at this spot, yeah, your teammate could be a hacker. Continuing right along, another great way to determine whether or not a teammate of yours is a hacker is if they try their best to break away from the squad you're in. Say everyone agrees to land at military base, but one teammate just jumps out early and lands at quarry. Or you're already together in a place like Rajak, and one teammate runs far away to the other side of the city so they're not visibly seen. Think about it. If you're a hacker, why would you want to make yourself visible? It's like someone trying to steal stuff from a store. They're not going to do this with tons of people standing nearby. They'll go to the very back of the store and try and take something when no one's looking, especially when there's no security cameras. If your teammate has a damage hack or aimbot on, they won't want to show it to everyone else. So if your teammate never wants to be close by to you, even when they need to be, there's a chance they could be hacking. Now, moving forward, another interesting way you can attribute to whether or not someone could be a hacker, and this also can go in line with the last example, is when a teammate refuses to turn voice chat on. This goes in line with the overall feeling of that player, if they're suspicious or not. You may have a player named XX PUBG Lover XX, right? He was talking to you the whole warm-up round. Sounded like a really friendly guy, right? Well, as soon as you begin the match, you notice the guy is getting a lot of kills really quickly, and it seems like he's doing way more damage than all of his enemies. He seems like he has infinite ammo too. So you confront him and say, "Hey dude, you're doing super well. How are you doing this good at the game?" But he never responds. He stays quiet the whole rest of the match because he doesn't have an answer other than, well, he was cheating. He just doesn't want to tell you that. So be smart, be observant, and see how your teammates act. Another pretty easy way to tell whether or not someone is hacking is how nervous they are around other players. You even look at the top streamers. Even they will hesitate at times. They don't just run and gun 24/7, okay? There are times when they have to sit back, behind a tree, behind a rock, survey the situation, and think about what's the best way to take out an enemy. If you have someone who just runs and guns the entire time, running into buildings where entire squads are, killing them off easily, running out in the middle of an open field right to an airdrop in late game, getting shot at, and then even after being spotted before he sees the enemy, managing to get the kill, or just showing that he doesn't have a care in the world, he may have some sort of health hack on. Think about it. If you have 2,000 health instead of 100 health, would you be as careful as you were before? Of course not. You know you can take like 10 AWM shots before you die. So depending on how careless and non-nervous someone is around enemies is a good indication of whether or not they're hacking. Now the most obvious way you can determine whether or not someone is hacking is by seeing how much speed they have. It's kind of funny seeing people using speed hacks in 2019 because it's so easy to spot them and report them. Players can hack their running speed so they can travel 5 times faster than a dune buggy, for example. And I mean, that's pretty obvious to spot. You'd have to be an idiot if you didn't see that. If you ever get killed by an enemy and you're skeptical whether or not it's legitimate, take a second, watch the kill cam, and see if they're moving super fast. If they are, well, you found yourself a cheater. Something a lot of people look over when trying to figure out whether or not someone is a cheater is this. They look past the fact that a lot of inexperienced cheaters will shoot randomly a lot of the time. If you're spying on an enemy who you believe is a cheater, you'll notice their character spazzes out a lot and shoots randomly at times. That's probably due to some sort of cheat they have enabled that senses where nearby enemies are and points the character's crosshair toward them. So the enemy might be next to school, but spinning around whenever a nearby enemy moves. And then of course natural reaction would be for the cheater to fire in case the enemy is way closer than expected. They turn left and fire a bullet. Then a couple seconds later turn right and fire another bullet. Then even a few seconds later look down and fire a bullet if they're up on a mountain. This is obviously not normal PUBG behavior, so watch out for players that do this. Now we've all heard of those streamers who can fire semi-auto guns even faster than automatic weapons. However, there's a limit to how fast a human being can press a button on their screen. If you're wanting to spot someone who's a cheater, look and see how they use weapons like an SKS or M16A4. If the enemy is firing these weapons faster than even a micro Uzi, there's a very little chance that's legitimate. If it is legitimate, their hands will get so tired so quickly they won't be able to do this for very long. So watch out. If they're firing an M16A4 as fast as a micro Uzi the entire game, yeah, they're probably cheating because there is a very low chance they will have the energy required to do that for many minutes on end. I would combine this tip with some others to have a more formidable argument against the cheater because that'll even strengthen what you have to say. We all know the weird username glitches people have in PUBG Mobile, and the last 2 tips involving spotting cheaters relate to this. The first is whether or not the enemy that just killed you had a blank username. Think about it. If you have a blank username, you're probably hiding something. If you have a name change tag, you don't want to use a real username if you're hacking. So you change your name temporarily to a blank account so it's harder to get reported. I don't know why people feel the need to do this, but I guess they think it's funny when they kill someone and it just says blank killed you. If you ever come across a teammate who has a blank username, just simply question them and see why they did it. If they give you a reason, hey, so be it. But if they act like how the player acted in tip number 4, where they're acting all suspicious after you ask them, there is a chance they could be cheating. So watch out for that. And last, the most unusual and least known way to spot a hacker in PUBG Mobile also has to do with usernames. Have you ever come across someone with a phone number, email, QQ number, or WeChat number in their username? I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you most likely looked right past this. Believe it or not, it's actually quite common for cheaters to advertise their cheats by putting their contact information in their username. Say some little kid sees his teammate using a wall hack and thinks it's cool. Well, the hacker has his phone number in his name. So the kid just has to text the number, and if the hacker responds, bam, the kid will be given some sort of access to hacks. Now, it is true some people put their contact info in their name just for fun, and they're not actually hacking, which is something I would never recommend doing. But since this is a PUBG Mobile epidemic, we have to address it. Be skeptical whenever you have a teammate or enemy with contact information as their username. And hey, with that being said, we just finished up with the video. We don't want hackers and cheaters in PUBG Mobile. I mean, it's pretty dumb to hack in this game. There are serious repercussions for this. Players actually get arrested for cheating in China. During a few months in 2018, the Chinese police arrested over 150 people for distributing hacks to other players in the game. Who's to say that other countries can't do that? My best advice is for you to not do this unless you want to be put in jail. And if you're a gamer in jail, yeah, you'll be jailbait. Play the game fairly, get better at the game, and learn to accept when people are better than you. You'll have a much better time playing PUBG if you have this mentality. So yeah, my friends, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. It takes just a few seconds. Subscribe to my channel for more awesome PUBG Mobile content. And turn on post notifications so you're notified by my next video uploading on June 9th. See you guys later.